Center for Public Affairs. He's an advisor to the Israeli Prime Minister. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. What do you believe is the appropriate Israeli response here?
Well, first and foremost, I think we have to focus on the organization that stands behind this brutal murder, and that's Hamas. You know, many people are mistaken in the international community. They think Hamas is somebody that perhaps the West can work with, perhaps Mahmoud Abbas can work with. But we've said repeatedly, and we've said it to Mahmoud Abbas, the Palestinian leader, he has to break his pact with Hamas. He has to not bring Hamas into a diplomatic process. He has to jettison them out, and he has to make sure that they don't rise again.
And what if he doesn't?
Well, you know, the world is saying to Israel, make peace with the Palestinians. We have no war with the Palestinian people. We do have a serious conflict with Hamas, which, you know, look what just happened now. They just seized and kidnapped young teenagers and murdered them in cold blood and then praise it. You know, their leaders are extolling what these kidnappers did.
Would you be content?
You can't work with a movement like that.
Would you be content if the Palestinian Authority under Mahmoud Abbas arrested those responsible for these deaths?
That's what they're supposed to do under our signed agreements. You know, Mahmoud Abbas, to this point in time, while referring to the kidnapping, hasn't condemned the murders. We need him to condemn the murders. We also need the education that's put forward by the Palestinian Authority has to reflect tolerance and coexistence. You open the textbooks that these young people are reading, and they're talking about jihad and murder. There's an environment in the whole region that's pushing them in this direction as well. They have to stand strong and resist that.
If I may jump in here, if I may ask you, I mean, as we know, the Israeli cabinet is going to meet after these funerals, and there are reports of divisions within that cabinet when it comes to the appropriate response, some favouring the building of settlements, others apparently not, and wanting really to try and strike a balance between the military solution here and building more settlements. What will building more settlements achieve, and what will military action achieve for Israel ultimately?
Well, you know, Israel has a right that's even recognized in the agreements that it signed, that it has Israelis who live in the West Bank who need to be serviced, who need to have, you know, their interests protected, just as you protect Palestinian civilian interests in the West Bank. But I think the real issue here is focusing on the culprits, on focusing on those who stood behind this attack.
You don't believe there's a danger of something that's a political, a national tragedy becoming a political division within the cabinet itself?
No, I don't think so. Look, it's fair in a democratic society like Israel to have different views of what will send a message. You want to deter the Hamas and the entire Palestinian leadership from going in this direction. They're tempted. As I said before, jihadism is on the rise. Organizations like ISIS are all of a sudden showing up in Jordan, in the Gaza Strip. In Lebanon, they just appointed a commander. So we want the Palestinians to move away from jihadism, but unfortunately many are embracing it, and you get this kind of attack that we had here conducted by Hamas, which is one of the highest and one of the oldest of these jihadist organizations.
We must leave it there, but Dore Gold in Jerusalem, thank you for joining us.
Sure.
And we'll hear from the Palestinians ahead. Hanan Ashwari, a member of the PLO Executive Committee, will be on Connect the World in about an hour from now.